Texas can bounce back against Louisiana. The 3-seed Longhorns in Bryan College Station. This regional against the 2-seed Raging Cajuns, the regular season champions of the Sun Belt Conference. Southpaw delivers the first pitch. I've asked you a myriad of questions this weekend. What it takes in terms of energy, approach on fly balls, angles in the outfield, the first step by outfielders, bang bang plays at first base. And LaFleur retired quickly with a strikeout. How does Texas generate energy when it was just dealt that 4-2 extra inning loss at midnight, literally this morning, turning around so quickly and having to fight its way out of the loser's bracket?
Yeah, this is when you have to have the memory of a goldfish, right? You got to try to flush it as soon as possible. In the clubhouse, in the dugout, you're talking about those times in which you went through adversity. That's what you go back to. You go back to the fall in which you guys are working hard in the weight room, doing all the little things that amount to these types of opportunities, having those types of conversations, lifting each other up, and a lot of caffeine too, Roy. Get yourself coffee, your energy drinks, whatever can get you going early today, because it's a quick turnaround from midnight last night.
I mean, that game ended at the stroke of midnight, believe it or not. One of many interesting storylines emerging from that contest. Broussard bumps up in the batting order for head coach Matt Deggs this afternoon, hitting second, 2 for 7 in this regional. Now comebacks happening all across the country to start third day of regionals. And back-to-back strikeouts for Whitehead.
Not really sure why he was trying to bunt here with the 2 strikes. Maybe he's trying to catch somebody off guard, but not necessarily the most intelligent play, especially when we know he can swing the bat pretty well.
Here's DeBarge. LSU was down 5-0 in Chapel Hill to Wofford. Now has come back to lead 11-6 in the ninth. And DeBarge down the right field line towards the berm. And the other thing about last night, if you're a fan of the Horns, you feel like that your team maybe gave that one away a little bit with the errors that were committed. And maybe just the most awkward play you could ever imagine that plates proved to be the winning run. Dribbler down to third. Flores, a big moment here, and a good start for UT.
On today and get back to swinging the bat the same way he's done all season long.
Chase Morgan on the mound, the lefty, a freshman from Cypress, Texas. About 1 hour from where we're located currently in College Station.
His fastball sits around 89, 90. Use that 50% of the time. You get the curveball, the changeup, and the slider. Ground balls is his game. Getting guys to beat the ball into the ground using the defense, and that back foot slider to righties is a huge pitch for him as well.
Fastball settles in low. Tim Rosso calling balls and strikes behind home plate today. And served into center field. No one home. Jared Thomas aboard. And he found a way to hit it where the defense was not positioned.
Well, this is how you beat the shift right here, right? Everybody over on the right side of the infield. You take it right back where it came from. Nobody standing there. Take my early knock with nobody there.
Thomas with a start in left field today. LSU scored 12 of the next 13 runs in that game against Wofford, the SoCon champions, to battle back. Now in the 9th inning in Chapel Hill. What a regional that has been. Down 5-0, now leading 13-6. You have weather in Norman and Oklahoma City wreaking havoc on the Norman NCAA Tournament Baseball Regional, and also in the Women's College World Series in softball. And Flores strikes out.
We talked early about this word energy, and it comes from the offensive side and the defensive side as well. From a pitching standpoint, you go down and in with that slider. Just highlighted it. The back foot slider to righties is a huge pitch for him. For Texas, if you're a right-handed hitter, you got to expect that to come with 2 strikes a lot more times than not in today's game.
Kimball Schuessler has reached in 7 of his 11 plate appearances this weekend. I would argue he's hit the ball as hard as any player among the 4 teams that originally arrived here in College Station.
Yeah, he's had some really good at-bats as far as really being patient at the plate.
No man's land, heart of the Bermuda Triangle, and a good piece of base running by Thomas. He never hesitated and ends up at third. How did he know that ball was going to get down?
Well, this is what we call preparation as a base runner, is you know where the defense is, and seeing where the shortstop is playing is an important part of that. The bar is playing a little bit more toward that 5-hole, towards third base, knows he's not going to get there, so he gets all the way to second, sees it land, is able to get himself over to third. That's intelligent, great base running right there.
Horns with a runner in scoring position in the form of Jared Thomas, and here's Max Ballou. Sophomore from Aledo, Texas. Numbers are good for the season, waiting to take off in the postseason. The Big 12 Player of the Year. To second, fielded cleanly. How about that flip? And the twin killing. My goodness.
On the transfer and the perfect throw over to first base, that's a big league play right there.
And a play that generates energy and momentum. Amade, fly ball to center. And 4 up, 4 down. The Raging Cajuns. A good start for Ace Whitehead. Caleb Stelly, a big cut. Now, Whitehead's not going to overpower you with his arsenal. You know it, I know it. Everybody at Louisiana understands that. But he's a bulldog. He's tenacious. You can feel that, a competitor, and you can say that about a lot of pitchers, but maybe even next level with Whitehead into center field. Raging Cajuns have their first base runner. And here is John Taylor, who has been up and down his head coach's batting order, Matt Deggs. Friday hit cleanup. Yesterday batted leadoff, and today in the 6 hole. Bunted to third. Powell on the move. Welcome to the Bryan College Station Regional. Elimination day has arrived, day number 2. As the loser of this game will see its season come to an end. Bluebell Park, Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. We are scoreless, and some sensational plays have already been made by this Louisiana defense. More on that in a minute. Winner of this game gets Texas A&M the regional final tonight after the fireworks that ended at the stroke of midnight earlier this morning. Duncan Pastor gets the start as the DH. Hammers that one into left field. Coming home to score will be Caleb Stelly. And the Ragin' Cajuns strike first.
Well, you think about that, advancing the runner with the bunt with 1 out, getting him to scoring position, and then Pastor being able to sit back on a changeup here. Whitehead's probably one of his best offerings and stays up just a little bit. And you're talking about being roped to left field for the first run of the game. That'll get your boys up in the dugout.
Ragin' Cajuns grabbed the lead early against UT in their first meeting before Texas mounted a comeback. Jose Torres 2 for 6 in this regional. It was a rock fight that ended at 12 between A&M and Texas. 4-2 in 11 innings. So much to decipher and figure out after a matchup like that in a packed house. Longhorns would love a rematch later. Louisiana, of course, with other intentions. That one is bunted foul. Ace Whitehead on the mound. Left-handed pitcher. Asher Cade Whitehead, his full name. Former high school quarterback. He threw for nearly 13,000 yards and 170 touchdowns in his prep career. Former athlete of the year, according to the Austin American-Statesman newspaper. Friends here in College Station just delivered the first entree of the afternoon. Torres smacks that one into left field. And Pastor slides in at third. The throw towards second. Oh, maybe an opportunity miss right there.
Yeah, really good swing. You were talking about Ace, and we highlighted it early. It's got to be the off-speed location has to be in a good spot. That's a good spot right there, but Torres able to get the barrel out in front, able to hit something hard to left field. Pastor gets over to third, and Deggs was about to send him, actually, because the throw was into second base. Pastor had already kind of...
Head coach of the Ragin' Cajuns, Matt Deggs, former Texas A&M assistant, back in College Station for the first time in 14 years. Luke Uhas, the hitter. Didn't start against the Horns, came in off the bench, promptly delivered a pinch hit. And since that point in time has 3 more knocks. Actually leads the Ragin' Cajuns this weekend in this regional. Fastball upstairs. Louisiana eliminated Grambling State yesterday in a game it had to have. Now Whitehead was cruising along, retired his first 4 batters, then a hit by Stelly, another by Pastor, and a double by Torres. And it's 1-0. 2-2.
As a hitter, you know you're going to get a lot of off speed. The thought process is trying to see something up in the zone, trying to stay away from everything down, everything that's looking like it's going toward the dirt. You almost want to start it chest high.
First full count for Whitehead today. Now for those just tuning in, Jalen Flores did have a play at short in the first inning that he made cleanly after committing the 2 errors last night. Certainly an encouraging sign if you're a fan of the Horns. And a payoff, some high heat. Chasing was Uhas, and Whitehead escapes. Raging Cajuns strike first to its rival A&M.
Yeah, you have to set the tone the right way, and I feel like the pitching is going to be tested, especially when you talk about the depth going into these games. Now, everybody's available, but you want to get some length out of your starting pitching and hopefully throw up some zeros as early as possible and give that offense a chance to get going.
5, 6, and 7. Powell, Borba, and Galvan due up first. Casey Borba getting the start over at first, shifting Justin Thomas into the outfield. And the shift in play for Powell. 3 outfielders, 3 infielders rather, on the right side of second. Second baseman John Taylor essentially playing as an outfielder, as is the shortstop DeBarge, drifting back.
Yeah, and that doesn't really change my mindset as a hitter, right? Because you still have the middle of the field so far open. Still trying to use the whole field in general. Trying to stay away from rolling something over with 3 defenders over there. I got to use the big part of the field.
Powell 2 for 11. Louisiana, the regular season champions of the Sun Belt this year. 0-2 in the Sun Belt tournament. The payoff is nubbed over to third, and Amadei fires, playing as a shortstop for out number 1. Amadei a home run this weekend, and has been up to the challenge at the hot corner, even in that overshift into the 6 hole. Broussard Jr., Stella, and Uhas with the start in right field. Sunbelt Player of the Year at short, Kyle DeBarge, joined by John Taylor in the infield with Chase Morgan and Torres, the catcher. Freshman from Santa Ana. Nothing in 2. 244 on the year. 4 homers, 17 driven in. Morgan, a Texas native, finalist for the 6A State Player of the Year as a senior over there in Cyprus. Sunbelt Freshman of the Year. To right center, and that's down for a hit. So with one away, the Horns with a runner at first, trailing 1-0.
Yeah, and you talked about infield being completely on the left side. Does a good enough job to stay back on that changeup, kind of lets the barrel work. Little out in front, but good enough in the legs to be able to have something behind it. Places it perfectly in right field. Get himself on first base.
Here's Rylan Galvan. Officially 1 for 5 in this regional, but he's walked 5 times. He's found a way to get on base. Inside, it'll back him out of the box. So difficult to bounce back after a loss, not only mentally, but when you look at the road ahead. Winner of this game has to beat Texas A&M twice, starting later tonight. And then again tomorrow, potentially in a winner-take-all Game 7 of this Bryan College Station Regional. Aggies, by virtue of that win yesterday, in prime position. You look around the country, there are many other national seeds, top 16 seeds that have already been eliminated or are on the verge. Arkansas currently in Fayetteville. They've battled injuries late in the year, struggling. And a walk issue to Galvan, so the Horns in business with 2 aboard and only 1 away.
Well, this is one of those ways you kind of bounce back from a tough loss last night. Is you put together some good at-bats. You try to string them together. Chase Morgan has had a pretty good year. Does a good job of really attacking the zone, being able to get a lot of weak contact. But if you can really hone in on what your approach is at the plate as far as what you're looking for and not deviating from that plan.
Freshman from Los Angeles, part of the All Big 12 freshman team. Strike 1. And Morgan trying to establish himself. Longhorns already with 3 hits. And likely number 4, there it is. Texas will tie it up at 1. The throw comes into third. Advancing to second is Gasparino. And the Horns back in business here in the 2nd inning.
Well, this is a nice job of Gasparino sitting on the changeup. He saw a pitch before a little earlier in the count. Same location, stays on it extremely well. Base runners do a nice job of making sure to see it down and advancing. But then Gasparino does an even better job with his base running. As soon as that ball is kind of thrown in no man's land, he's able to advance to second base. So Texas already putting the pressure on offensively, but also from a base running standpoint here.
Batting 9th is D. Kennedy. No Porter Brown in the lineup today for head coach David Pierce. And already that move appears to have paid off. Kennedy 1 for 5 here in College Station. Wind blowing out towards left field once again at the ballpark.
Kennedy's a guy that I've really been impressed with just as a freshman, his ability to handle the bat, whether that be bunt, whether that be to try to move a guy over. Good with 2 strikes. Love his approach at the plate, being down 9th in the lineup.
And LaFleur, the first baseman, felt like he could reach out and touch home plate. He crept in so close. 1-2. Stays back for the time being. And that clips Kennedy. Longhorns have the bases loaded. Now Morgan scuffling somewhat on the mound. And that brings us back to the top of the Texas batting order.
Yeah, really just trying to run a fastball in the inner half there. And pulls it glove side. And now you got Thomas up here with bases loaded. He'll look to try to stay out of the double play, look to drive something to the outfield with less than 2 outs here, looking for a sacrifice fly at the very least.
4 hits this weekend, including the home run yesterday against Texas A&M. First pitch he saw left the ballpark in left. In the opposite field, Jack gave UT a 1-0 lead. Galvan at third, Gasparino at second, Kennedy at first base. To second, hit sharply. Taylor, DeBarge, we saw it moments ago, and we see it again. And the Longhorns, top of the third inning, Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. And back to the top of the order for head coach Matt Deggs, LaFleur, Broussard, and DeBarge. Well, 16 teams have already been eliminated entering today. Over the course of the next 24 hours, we will go from 64 starting a week ago down to 16 for the Supers next weekend. Next, you think about the early story in this game. Longhorns had 2 aboard with just 1 away in the first inning, 4-6-3 double play. Score run in the second, 2 aboard, 4-6-3 double play. It depends on how you want to look at it. It was good to be tied after that early deficit, but also could be vastly different. Weren't for John Taylor over at second base. And Kyle DeBarge at short. Their fancy glove work.
No, they got to be looking at it as some missed opportunities, right? You get guys, bases loaded, with some guys you expect to do damage. You want to be able to cash in there.
Served into center field and a base hit. First time Trey LaFleur has been aboard today.
And for LaFleur, it's only about a matter of time. He just hits the ball so hard and so consistent with his swing. Just in a great balanced position. When he releases the barrel, it's a small leg kick. He gets behind it, and boom, right back where it came from.
First team All Sun Belt for the Ole Miss transfer. And he does have wheels. Take for granted the massive crowd we had last night. Bit sparse today for our first game. Any fan at any corner of the stadium has a chance to enter into the conversation, so to speak.
Yeah, you can hear them all. They in that shade too, because it is hot today.
Yeah, the on-field temperature shows 95 currently. And it's the heat plus the humidity. Quick conversation between Matt Deggs and Brian Broussard Jr. Brian 2 for 8 this weekend. Struck out his first time up today. UT 35-8 all time against the Ragin' Cajuns. Bunted towards the mound, first base side. The flip is there, as is the sacrifice 1-3. Fifth of the season for Brian Broussard Jr. Here comes Cal DeBarge, Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year. He's played well so far in College Station.
Yeah, he's been so dynamic all season long, but he brought the same energy to the field here in College Station. Just does a great job of understanding what he's looking for as a hitter, uses the whole field, and there's a sense of energy that he brings on the offensive and defensive side, as well as using the legs.
20-game on-base streak. An average shade under 360 starting today. Missed a couple of games last year with an injury, 11 to be exact. Fight that one off. Helped his high school to a 39-2 record as a senior in Louisiana. They won the Class 5A state championship in 2021 as a result. Publication deemed his team the national champions. I just think that would be difficult to determine when you've got thousands of high schools. You know who has talent, and some of the prep schools, of course, acquire more talent than others. Not a task I would be envious of. 2-2.
Yeah, one of the things that I've enjoyed watching about DeBarge's game is just the power that he packs, right? A lot of it comes from his legs. You can tell when he gets into the box, he's trying to feel that backside, kind of a lot of weight staying on that right leg. He wants to rotate from behind there. And he's so quick, he can get to pitches that challenge him up in the zone, as well as down and away, but the hands are so fast, he can get to the inner half as well.
LaFleur in scoring position at second, just one away in our third inning. Gave you some of the numbers on Ace Whitehead Jr. on the gridiron. For a Offensive Player of the Year quarterback. An award given by the Associated Press. Flores fields it cleanly on the move, and he's been on point with 2 plays so far today. A good sign for Texas. Advancing to third is LaFleur.
Yeah, it's good base running from LaFleur, making sure that he's able to advance here. Ball is kind of softly hit towards shortstop. Goes hard over there. Flores with the right decision to go over to first base.
How tough is it mentally to bounce back after what happened to him last night, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's tough, but that's the game of baseball, right? Is being able to flush it.
Center field, base hit, Louisiana back in front. Good piece of hitting by Lee Amadei.
Yeah, and Amadei just ready with the guy on third base, knows he's got an opportunity to get this guy in. It's fastball, first pitch right down the middle. Be prepared to hit, especially facing a guy that throws a good amount of off speed, changing speeds. As long as you're ready to hit one pitch and you're ready for it early in the at-bat, you'll have an opportunity, and he showed you why.
Clutch for the third baseman. Here's Stelly. And these two teams battling back and forth early. Popped up the infield. D. Kennedy surveys. at the College of Central Florida a season ago. Andrew Herman. And Andrew, first things first, welcome, and we appreciate your time. What's it been like so far in this game today, watching the action of your team with the lead?
I mean, it's been crazy so far. I mean, both teams just going at it. I mean, we've got a great team. They've got a great team. It's just going to be a great matchup. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this finishes up. And hopefully we win and get to play A&M tonight. But hopefully we just give it our all and live with the results.
Andrew, talk to us a little bit about yesterday. Obviously a great performance against Grambling for you, but what's the mindset going into that game yesterday, and what does Coach Deggs tell you as far as your preparation or be prepared to come in a certain part of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted JT to go out there, do his thing. I mean, he didn't really have his best stuff, and hopefully he comes out today or tomorrow and shows us what he's really got. But just going there, I mean, we hit well to start, put up 8 in the first 3 innings, so I was just going out there trying to work ahead, throw strike 1 down the middle, and just work around them, try to get some weak swings. And for the most part, that's what I did. I mean, kudos to a few of their hitters. They got some pretty good swings on them, hit a few over, but it's just part of it. Fortunate enough that we started off with 8 runs in the first 3 innings, and we were able to win because of it.
Jalen Flores lines out to center field, and a nice play by Caleb Stelly as Kimball Schuessler climbs in. The atmosphere this weekend and just watching all the action, the games that you guys have played in, what's it been like? It has felt special at times when this place is rocking as Schuessler lines out to right field. What's it felt like from your perspective?
I mean, this atmosphere is crazy. I was able to experience a little bit of last night too. All the fans for A&M. It's unlike anything else. I mean, I was a part of the JUCO World Series game last year, and this atmosphere here is just unreal compared to that. I mean, I thought 10,000 fans there were crazy. Here it's been even crazier.
Andrew, what about for you personally this year? As a baseball player, I feel like throughout the course of a year, you always learn something new about yourself or go through ups and downs. What's that been like for you? What have you learned? Yeah,
I mean, I started out the year throwing 90, 92, and degressed, I guess, throughout the year. For the most part, I was able to find a few back for velo, but I just had to learn to throw the ball at the bottom of the zone this year, try and induce weak contact, lots of off-speed pitches for strikes. But yeah, just work ahead and be able to throw any pitch in any count. That's kind of what I learned for this year.
It talked to me a little bit about how frustrating that can be sometimes losing velo, but also the balance of figuring out what else you have to use as a pitcher.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's frustrating. I'd say it's challenging, and it adds to, I guess, my level of confidence, because I got to go in there and just work with what I got in the given day and just make it work, find a way to win.
You got the Big 12 Player of the Year, Max Ballou, up to bat for the Longhorns. 2 quick outs and the 2-1 pitch will even the count. What's the scout quickly on Chase Morgan and what you've seen from him and kind of what he brings to the table for this team this year for you guys?
I mean, he's great. He's been our Saturday guy for most of the year. I think he's probably our best pitcher, but his confidence is just what really separates him. I mean, goes out there, 3 pitches for a strike, fastball, changeup, curveball. Everything's great. I think he's got a lot of RPMs on his curveball, but really good guy as well. I mean, I'm really close with him. Great guy.
How careful do you have to be with this hitter, the Big 12 Player of the Year, Max Ballou?
I think Chase has got him right here. Maybe not.
Fly ball left field.
There we go.
That retires the side. That's one way to do it, Andrew. We appreciate your time. And as soon as 1 month from now, already on the verge of perhaps meeting again. Go back to the regular season. Coach Mike White, Patty Gasso's teams. As UT found a way against the Sooners. How about this play? Whitehead. Oh, and he got it there.
Wow. They're going to look at it again, but this man got off that mound pretty quick and dove for this baseball that I didn't think he had any shot of getting to, just because he's falling off the right side of the mound, and you see him showing off that athleticism you were talking about as a football player, changing direction.
I mean, that's a tackle on a pick 6 as a former quarterback finding a way. Now the question is, will the call stand?
That one's close. I think he might have got him still.
by a quarter of a step, if so. And remember, you're looking for the indisputable video evidence here to overturn the original call of out. What a spark this could be for the Horns. And nothing there indicates that call should be overturned, X.
Yeah, that angle's a little tougher because Borba's foot at first base seems to be almost blocking when we see Taylor hit the bag there. See what they say.
Out number one, John Taylor, the drag bunt. Hustling down the first baseline, no match for Ace Whitehead. That was impressive.
Well, that's an athletic play right there. Some pitchers are athletes, Roy. Some
there we go. I was waiting. We've held on all weekend. And that hit past Door. Pitchers are human beings as well. Athletic, personable. Just spoke to Andrew Herman. He started his career, by the way, at Wofford. We mentioned that in the beginning part of that interview. Wofford won the SoCon championship and eliminated earlier today by LSU in comeback fashion. And for you Texas fans tuning in, we will chat with LeBaron Johnson, has had some of the most electrifying stuff we've seen this weekend. Any of the teams here in the Bryan College Station Regional. And the junior pitcher probably playing in his last season in Austin, although we can ask him about that. Torres, a ball and a strike. Here's LeBaron. He's got the shades on.
It's sunny out there. I mean, he did an amazing job last night as far as just his ability to touch 97, get up to 98, but also the split finger was devastating last night, dropping off the table along with the slider. He had everything working.
Our conversation with LeBaron Johnson Jr. coming up, the Florida native, recent UT graduate. You just wonder, thinking back to last night, David Pierce got maybe one more inning, squeezed it out. He went 128 pitches deep a year ago in the postseason at Miami. Went over 100 yesterday. And in our mid-game conversation with Coach Pierce, he had indicated that he was checking to see if he was going to be done or maybe if he had another batter or two in him. As soon as he took off the headset. He was nearing the end, but that was a critical moment for both sides when Johnson departed. 55 pitches already for Whitehead as he comes home. Swung on a miss, hit and run, throw to second. And it's in time. Strike him out, throw him out. Well, LeBaron Johnson's got LeBaron Johnson joins us down to the UT dugout, the junior from Jacksonville. And first things first, LeBaron, congrats on an outstanding start last night. What did you have working for you, and when did you know that you were on the way in which you were?
I had everything working for me: splitter, slider, fastball command, getting ahead was first pitch strikes. But I mean, first inning on, I mean, when I had the first two strikeouts, I knew I was on point with that. So.
Did you feel a little amped up at all last night? Obviously hitting 97, 98 with some consistency. I know a lot of times you can have a little bit of extra in those types of moments.
Oh yeah, I was really amped up. Honestly, you know, I had the A&M fans just heckling me, so you know that added a little bit of ampage to me. But also, you know, just being able to put myself in that position to put my team in a good position to win that day. You know, I was just excited.
What is it like pitching in this rivalry? You got the start in this stadium. going back to March 2023. And you mentioned the fans getting after you. I mean, it's what you would expect. It's what makes college baseball so great. But from your perspective, LeBaron, what is it like when the Aggies and the Longhorns get together?
Oh, it's exciting, honestly. Any chance I get to compete against them, it's always they give me their all, and I'm gonna give them my all. It dates back to a while ago when I first had my first start against them last year, and I mean, just the rivalry itself. It's just good competitiveness between both clubs.
Yeah, I love that. What about for you personally? What are some of the things that you've had to develop in your own game to get you where you are today and to get you to have the success that you've had so far in your career?
First piece was the mental piece. Definitely confidence on the mound. I know that I can compete with the best of them, and just going out there and knowing that and just attacking guys is the number one piece for my development for the past few years. And then of course, just getting ahead with first pitch strikes. I mean, that's just the main thing. If I can just stay in the zone, I know I can beat them.
After the strikeout by Powell, one away, bags empty for the Longhorns here in the bottom of the fourth inning. You recently graduated from UT. I believe you celebrated with your family in Orlando in the midst of that UCF series. What was that experience like? And to get that degree, obviously always important for any collegiate athlete, but the experience of recently graduating, how did that feel?
It felt great, honestly. It was sad I didn't get to go to the ceremony in Austin, but just to be able to say I'm a UT graduate, I'm very proud of that. And my sister and I both graduated at the same time this year. Congrats to her on her graduation as well. But be able to have her there with me and my family there and celebrate after the game and before the game, it was great, honestly. It made up for not making the ceremony.
Yeah, that's really cool to do that with your sister too. Well, let me ask you, what are the conversations like coming into today's game? Obviously a tough loss yesterday. How do you guys get yourselves amped up and ready to go for another one early today, and also trying to finish out the rest of this regional to win it?
Just forget about what happened last night, to move on. You kind of have to have a short-term memory with losses like that. We're just focused on winning today, game by game. We know it's going to be a long day, and, but we're going to have fun on the way to getting back to where we should be. But just definitely just take it pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and not doing too much. We know we're the best here, and you just got to compete and do that.
Your mentality in the postseason. We were in Coral Gables last year when you threw 128 pitches and shut down the Miami Hurricanes, a real tone setter in that regional as you guys advance to the Supers. We saw you last night, 103, lights out. Does anything change for you when the postseason arrives, knowing the success that you've had these last 2 years?
Nothing really changes. I just know my team has full confidence in me to go out there on a start day and to do my best and give it my all, and they know I'm going to give them my all. And, definitely, the environment plays a role in it too. I'm always living for those moments to put on for my team and for the university in those big moments. So I always, welcome that.
Talk to us a little bit about Ace Whitehead, and how do you know when he's on and he's doing his best thing?
When he makes plays like that in the last inning, I know he's a competitive person. He's one of the best competitors on our team right now. And, just him going out there and being him, loose, attacking the zone, I just know he's going to do his best.
Playing baseball in Austin, graduating from UT, the overall experience for the Texas fans listening and watching now, what has that meant for LeBaron Johnson?
It means everything, honestly. It's just a special moment to be able to do that, graduate, and to also, play for this university. I mean, it's a dream come true, honestly.
Well, congrats on a great career. We appreciate your time. Best of luck the rest of the weekend, LeBaron.
Thank you.
Towards the gap, on cue and down for a base hit, and that's going to drop right through the wickets of Broussard. It'll be one of the longest singles of the weekend. But the inning continues for the Horns and Rylan Galvan.
Yeah, this is changeup that he's able to get the barrel out in front enough. Broussard looked like he just might have second-guessed himself. I thought it might have been able to dive and get to this baseball, but kind of at the last second, he chose to stay up, maybe try to shoestring grab, but just couldn't quite get there. Luckily, they were able to hold it to a single.
Now, Texas has had base runners in every frame, trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth. And here's Gasparino, who's 1 for 1. 3 hits in the regional. He's swung the bat awfully well so far. Winner of this game gets Texas A&M tonight, and of course you got to beat the Aggies twice, tonight and tomorrow, to advance to the Supers. Next, I think the consensus on LeBaron Johnson coming into the year, he was going to be a first-round draft pick this summer. I don't know that that's the case now, but if you're a scout and you're watching last night, you kind of want it to be, because you know he's got that kind of stuff and potential.
Yeah, it's definitely about the projectability, right? And when you see him go out there yesterday and be able to do exactly what he said, command all three of his pitches, but also be able to get strikes early, get strike one, be able to live ahead in the count. That's really the difference maker. We know he's going to get stronger. We know he's going to have more pitchability. We know he's going to get mentally tougher. Those are things that you look for as a scout with the guy going to the next level, and the projectability from his size and all that comes along with it.
Gasparino serves it to short. DeBarge is there. They'll get the lead runner in Galvan at second. Side in the top of the fifth inning. Luke Uhas will lead things off, 9-1-2 for the Ragin' Cajuns. Well, we certainly appreciate talking to Andrew Herman and LeBaron Johnson, and I'm guessing that David Pierce and Matt Deggs appreciated that move as well. Not that they don't want to talk to us, but you know what? Probably on day 3 they don't.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They definitely are wanting to be more locked into the game.
You can't blame them. Battling their way.
Yeah, season on the line.
All the coaches here have been gracious with their time and our questions. Thank all of them, from Davin Pierre at Grambling, Matt Deggs, Louisiana, David Pierce, Jim Schlossnagel. And Schloss had been through a couple of games where maybe comes on board for the mid-game interview and something bad happens. Get a little superstitious. I would be that way. You know, you jump on board and all of a sudden you give up 2 runs or... Payoff pitch on the way from Whitehead to Uhas. And Luke stays alive.
But if you notice, talking to these coaches, they all have usually a certain theme that they want to express, at least for their team, right? A certain way that they go about it. Remember Grambling Coach Pierre talking about the way that he wants his team to play clean baseball, not give up the big inning, represent the G in their heart. Certain things that every single coach tries to really preach to their team and communicate to have it stick with them while they're out there on the field.
Ace Whitehead with the walk. It'll be the first one that he has issued in this game on a very close call, top part of the zone. So Uhas at first, and back to the top of the order, and Trey LaFleur, who's 1 for 2. You mentioned Grambling. There was a great scene last night in that A&M Texas game, section 203, where a lot of the Grambling players came back to the ballpark and were hanging out with the fans in attendance, nearly 8,000 strong. Up the middle, and another hit for the Ragin' Cajuns. LaFleur's 2 for 3. And the first 2 aboard for Louisiana.
Yeah, LaFleur, just such a smooth swing. Everything about his game is so suave, relaxed, calm. There's no extra aggressiveness. It's a small leg kick, put the foot down, and bang, right back through the middle. Coming off the bat hot, too.
First team all Sun Belt, tip of the cap. Louisiana on the move again. Brian Broussard Jr. Bunts it to third. Powell up with it quickly. Going for the lead runner. They'll get him at third base. Jalen Flores covering. And a lot of things to unpack in that sequence, but a big win for UT to get the lead runner at third.
Yeah, this is a wheel play. This is Jalen Flores breaking to third as the third baseman comes in. It's his job to cover third and third baseman to deliver a strike over there to Jalen. It's exactly executed the way you practice it. Practice it so much in the fall. And it's exactly when you anticipate knowing a guy is going to lay down a bunt and try to get it towards third. Perfectly done.
Broussard aboard on the fielder's choice. 5-6 on the putout. One away for DeBarge. Well, it felt like the whole left side of humanity was in motion as that bunt was delivered. Popped up left field. Jared Thomas underneath. And there are 2 away. Now, the NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow. ESPN Plus and also on the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Now, how you normally would combat that wheel play when you see Jalen breaking over towards third base and the third baseman busting in extremely fast and Powell, you pull it back and then you're going to act like you're going to hit, or you actually do take a swing. That'll stop them from having that type of movement, crashing in that hard and trying to get the lead runner at third. A lot of times that's what you'll talk about offensively. If you see that happen, you see that third baseman coming in that hard, you pull it back and actually hit. They call that slash.
It worked out well for Texas. A line out to Kennedy. And Amadei played perfectly, and a promising inning comes to a screeching halt for the Ragin' X. Down 5-0 to Wofford. They come back to score 12 of the next 13 runs to win it going away 13-6. So, no look now, but LSU, Carolina. Regional final coming up later today. Certainly there's going to be some intrigue there as D. Kennedy sends it to short. And a powerful throw by DeBarge. Gets a leadoff man. Well, that had some zest on it.
Well, you talk about 2 really clean fielders that we've seen in this game so far. Look at Taylor at second base, and DeBarge, his double play partner over there, can play deep in the hole because he's got a rocket for an arm, can get it across the infield. Extremely quick, smooth hands, and great range. All the things that you're looking for a great defensive shortstop.
Now, the double play that we witnessed in the first with Taylor and DeBarge. Clean reception with the glove. Flips it to DeBarge with the leather. Barehanded reception by the shortstop DeBarge, and then back to first. Straight filth when it comes to the twin killing.
Yeah, as a middle infield, you feel like you have a lot of confidence to be able to turn any double play, right? You feel like it doesn't matter if it's a fast runner, a guy with some real sprint speed, you can still be able to turn any defensive play because of the quickness that you have as a tandem.
Thomas, dribbler to second, and Taylor ready and waiting. Jalen Flores out of the 2-hole. Gets set to dig in. He has redeemed himself defensively today at short. Grand slam, of course, against the Ragin' Cajuns 2 days ago. Question is now, will the bat come back to life? 2 for 10 this weekend. Ball on a strike to count. Defensive change in the outfield to tell you about for the Ragin' Cajuns. Over in left field, Connor Higgs has replaced Brian Broussard. Connor we've seen extensively this weekend. And Broussard moves over to right to replace Luke Uhas. breaking ball that stayed out of the zone all the way to the backstop.
Yeah, if you're Chase Morgan, you want to go right after him, right? Done such a great job all day today. Talked about getting ground balls. He's already got 5 ground ball outs. He's using the lower part of the zone, getting guys to hit it to his defenders.
And a 2-out walk issue to Flores.
Mentioned the out distribution of getting those ground balls. It's, let's say it's 5 instead of 6, but he's also gotten a lot of weak contact when it comes to the flyouts as well.
Kimball Schuessler working 9 to 5. 1 for 2. And for Chase Morgan now with 2 free passes today. His last 6 starts, he only had 1 walk in each of those 6 games. And now getting set, 3rd time through the order. Everybody on edge in this elimination game for both Louisiana and Texas. I'm not sure much needs to be said to Schuessler the way that he has been swinging the bat this weekend. 1 for 2 today, 6 for 10 here in College Station. He started his baseball career 3 years ago. Battled injuries, bounced back, and has delivered a great campaign for head coach David Pierce this year.
See Torres back there trying to remind Morgan, hey, let's calm down a little bit, take a deep breath, take a step back. Let's get back in the zone. You've done such a great job all day of attacking. Don't get away from that.
Short lead for Flores. Game is starting to feel a lot like what we witnessed last night. Middle part of the contest, same score. 2 teams trying to feel each other out a little bit. Certainly a much different vibe than we saw between these two in their first meeting, a 12-5 UT victory. 7-run 5th inning was the difference on Friday. Raging Cajuns with 41 victories this year. Texas with 36. Next, you know, it's an hands-on-deck kind of situation where push all your chips into the table, all the cliches to win this game, but you also still have to have enough pitching. Later tonight, Schuessler thought that was ball 4. Instead, count runs full.
Yeah, that looked like it ran down and in a little too far, but still is able to get the call, mostly because he's been throwing strikes most of the day.
Served into center field. That'll drop for a hit. Flores held up at second. Schuessler's 2 for 3. 7 hits this weekend.
Talked a lot about his ability to get to every single pitch. That's a ball that runs a little bit inside. He's like, ball don't lie, man. I don't want to walk. Let me just get this base knock.
Tying run in scoring position. Go ahead run at first. A lot of baseball left to be played here in the bottom of the 5th. And you look in the direction of Max Ballou, the starting right fielder. Big 12 player of the year. If not now, when? Dribbler to second. Taylor, an easy play. Horn strand a pair. Saw the game summary. Both teams with 6 hits. Ace Whitehead remains on the mound for the Horns. And Caleb Stelly 1 for 2 today. Cajuns have not trailed in this game. It's 1-0, then tied at 1, and then 2-1. Lee Amadei bringing home Stelly. That occurring in the third. Here on this June 2nd, and less than 2 weeks away from the start of the College World Series in Omaha. Super Regionals next weekend. And some brands have already been eliminated this year. Wake Forest and that talented roster, maybe as many as 4 to 5 first-round draft picks. At least that's what we thought back in the preseason. Out. Arizona out. Arkansas on the verge of losing and being eliminated in Fayetteville, playing at Baum-Walker Stadium. They battled injuries late in the year. Dave Van Horn had a great quote yesterday in addressing those questions. You've got teams like Tennessee, Texas A&M, Clemson, gotten off to great starts. And Broussard out in right field. Check it, it's Ballou with the grab. Stelly lines out to Ballou. John Taylor batting 6th after leading off yesterday. $15 swing and misses so far for Ace Whitehead. Got into trouble those second and third innings. Outside of that, I believe he has given head coach David Pierce exactly what he was asking for to start this day. Only 79 pitches now with this toss.
Yeah, he's been extremely efficient, especially starting the game early with that changeup. The location was right with that pitch. You know, Louisiana got a couple good swings off, but still for the most part, he's been able to command all of his pitches in the strike zone and expand a little bit as well. You had mentioned those 15 swing and misses. That's how you have that type of success, is by mixing and matching your pitches, but also using the different locations and being able to expand when you need to a little bit.
Whitehead's last start against Texas Tech went 5 innings. Had only 2 strikeouts. Recorded 2 in the first 2 batters that he faced today. Has 4 currently. So again, with what we've seen from Texas pitching so far this weekend, make it 5.
And that's him expanding the zone again. When you throw a lot of strikes, you get hitters to start biting on that slider even more than they normally might. You see how it just kind of falls off the table towards the right-handed batter's box. Looks like a fastball, almost middle to the lefties, and at the last second being able to break away. Still extremely efficient at 82 pitches and still getting good movement late. You mentioned it early in this game, talking about it's not going to overpower you. Neither one of these lefties will, but it's so much more about location and deception for these guys. If they're able to get ahead early, they help themselves and give themselves an advantage by being able to go to that off speed late and see if you'll bite on some pitches that start in the zone but end up outside of the zone.
Yeah, there's a level of craftiness to the southpaw. Always feels like that's the case. Can't throw 95, well, he's crafty. And he is. Whitehead is. Morgan has been. A rocket into left field. Pastor on the move. And the turn, a 2-out double. 11th of the season for Duncan Pastor, and a good piece of hitting.
Yeah, this is, again, that slider, that changeup down in the zone. Really a good pitcher's pitch. You see, it was going to be caught almost in the dirt. That ball's rocketed past Powell over there at third base and down that left field area. He's like, give me some more of that.
Big moment for Jose Torres. Missile towards the Louisiana dugout. One and two. Galvan trots out to retrieve a ball from the Raging Cajuns dugout. I'm not sure how that one appeared near the first base line. Season on the line for both sides. Winner gets Texas A&M tonight. Loser will wrap up their 2024 campaign, and it's on to the offseason. Cut on and miss, and Whitehead with a spark.
Ground ball, getting weak contact, being able to use that changeup, that back foot slider, and the defense has really gone to work for him. Some sick double plays as well. When you're working like that, you're moving extremely efficient, and that's why he's been able to take his team all the way into the sixth here.
Now at 82 pitches, fly ball, deepest part of the ballpark. Stelly at the track. And retires Peyton Powell. Well, for all the ground ball outs we've seen, that one nearly got out of here as Powell put a charge into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to highlight his ground balls, and he trying to give up close to a big fly. Thank God he's got Stelly out there who can get to that wall quickly.
X, is there anything you would like to see change with the approach against Morgan, knowing what he's capable of and inducing all of those ground outs?
Yeah, I would just say you're trying to maybe get deeper into some counts and see some pitches up a little bit more. You know, a lot of times it can be tough when you got a guy that's able to really get ground balls, but you have to tell yourself and really trust yourself to be able to see a pitch a little bit deeper. Remember, you talked about this earlier. It's a guy that's not going to beat you, so you really have to trust yourself to not feel like you have to get the barrel out in front. A lot of times you'll see rollovers when you see a guy trying to get his barrel out in front, almost going towards the pitch instead of just catching it. I had a hitting coach by the name of Barry Bonds that people know real well. When I was with the Marlins, he talked about just catching the baseball instead of trying to use your power to go towards the baseball. You let the pitcher supply the power. Your job as a hitter is just to rotate and let the barrel catch it.
Interesting. Triple past the mound in no man's land. Borba's going to get aboard. Second time today he's reached first, his second hit. Tying run, standing at first base.
Yeah, and that's tough too because Chase Morgan does his job here. Gets you off balance with the changeup and gets you fishing a little bit. And Borba's rewarded for at least placing it in no man's land with the shift on. But another great pitch there from Chase Morgan.
Right off the end of the bat. Horns will take it. Torres will walk out to the bump.
And I think Torres also senses a little frustration from Morgan after he felt like he made the proper pitch and he didn't have anybody there to help him field that. So this is hey, let's recollect our thoughts and give the bullpen a little bit of time here.
Well, Matt Deggs perhaps has saved his very best for last. LP Langevin, Sunbelt Pitcher of the Year, staying loose in that bullpen. Rylan Galvan has reached twice today. He's walked and singled. And has paid dividends for head coach Matt Deggs. Galvan digs in and a first pitch swinging. Rylan has singled and walked. And home plate umpire Tim Rosso with conversation with Matt Deggs. And the count at a ball and a strike. So a violation of some sort. Evens the count for a second. And now it's 1-2. LP perhaps with a move towards his mouth on the mound. I have to admit, we've seen some strange things in this regional, including last night. 2-2. Straight gas.
Yeah, that's 95 coming on that outer half. Just kind of paints it away there. It's hard to catch up to as a hitter. Tough to get barrel to. He's got good spin rate too, so it has that rising effect. See, the K per 9 is the thing that really stands out. 15, that ranked first in the Sun Belt. He's looking for strikeouts.
It's third in the country as well. Gasparino, fly ball to right center. And that'll get down for a hit. Broussard unable to get there. Gasparino couldn't have placed it any better than what he did. And his second hit of the ball game.
Yeah, and just trying to get some barrel on it, right? He's able to stay on it. It's a pitch that runs inside a little bit. Places it to the outfield. Credit Borba for getting himself first to third there. Does a good job of seeing it down, and he's off to the races, making sure he's getting over to third with some ease. Now pass ball offers them an opportunity to maybe tie this thing up.
Yeah, tying run 90 feet away. Runners at the corners for Texas and D. Kennedy.
It's a good pitcher's pitch right there, down and away. You definitely want to live right there. If you're Langevin, it's a good spot.
LP Langevin on in relief of Chase Morgan. Not a mystery of what's been coming out of that right hand. Struck him out. And emotions running high. Horns have stranded 8, Louisiana 6. One-run game. Connor Higgs, first AP of the day. And a fly ball to left field. Jared Thomas. One pitch, one away. So it's back to LaFleur in the top of the order. Trey's 2 for 3. High and tight for ball 1. Well, it's felt like a couple of times today that Whitehead, the end of an inning, has given his team a little bit of a spark, but every Texas rally has been thwarted by Louisiana pitching. Back-to-back outs for Thomas. Rock solid for head coach David Pierce. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th. Charlie Hurley, 6'8", 225 from Sacramento X.
Yeah, this is a big, tall drink of water here. He's going to go with that fastball. Going to be 92, 93, and it's sinking into the right-handed hitter. A lot of down angle, uses his height to really get on top of the baseball and have that late movement. Done a good job of getting some swing and miss, but the main thing for him is throw strikes.
That's what he's done. That's what he did. 3 for the Longhorns. 1-run deficit. Top of the order to lead things off in Jared Thomas, the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year. On the mound for the Ragin' Cajuns, LP Langevin. Next, I'll ask you the question. The spark for UT has to happen at some point. They have not played bad today. They haven't played poorly. Ace Whitehead, they call him Boogie, was very strong on the mound, but the offense and the big hit, we haven't seen that just yet.
Yeah, this is where it has to go, right? You look at an opportunity here in the bottom of the 7th with the top of your lineup up. Thomas, Flores, Schussler, who's been all so good this season. If they can get you something going, some type of momentum, that energy, and it's been tough, right? They had a tough game last night, had a quick turnaround, but they've got to get that energy going around this time, or they'll find themselves too late.
Langevin has lived in the mid-90s with the heater.
If they can get some guys on for Baloo, you know he's had some struggles this regional so far, but he's a guy I look to find a way to turn it around in the big moment.
One away. You know, we talked Friday about Porter Brown, and could this be his breakout weekend? Certainly in that first game in the win against these Cajuns, it appeared to be the case. Saw him last night, did not get the start today. But for Max Ballou, running out of ABs to try to crank this thing up for the Horns. And you know he's capable. So is this young man, Jalen Flores. Fly ball to right. Broussard. And there are 2 away. Now Langevin gives you a little bit of a different gear out there.
Yeah, his spin rate, along with the velocity, spin rate sitting at around 2,600. Kind of looks like it has almost a rising effect to the hitters. It starts middle, and it'll almost kind of look like it continues to rise up toward the chest level. So even pitches that are starting around the chest level that look really good end up way too high. Gets a lot of fly balls. If he's not getting a strikeout, it's going to be a lot of fly balls, guys undercutting pitches.
Strike 1 to Schussler. All the runs coming in the 2nd and 3rd innings so far today. Strike two.
For a guy like Langevin, if I'm a hitter, I'm trying to see a pitch more down, right? Trying to see something that starts down that may come up a little bit but still stay in the strike zone. I want to set my eyesights toward a pitch down level.
Now Schussler is capable of hitting any pitch out of the ballpark. We saw that yesterday. Reached out and tagged one. Schussler over to third. Amade. 7 innings in the books. Premium runs have been non-existent. And Cal DeBarge, a leadoff hit.
DeBarge doing a great job of getting those hands inside on this sinking fastball from the 6'8" Charlie Hurley. You see it running in. He just brings those hands in so tight. Keep the elbow inside, just over the reach of Flores at short. Looking to get something started. Looking for that insurance run.
Amade with a single and an RBI.
A lot of times you'll have some of these taller pitchers, 6'8", a little bit slower to home plate. Might look for DeBarge to try to take a bag if he can here. They're going to do whatever they can to keep him close. But DeBarge, who moves so well, so athletic, I've got to believe he's looking to give himself a chance. He got a good lead over there.
Nothing in 2.
Also, as a base runner, I've got to look for a ball in the dirt here. 2 strikes. This is the time you see a lot of pitchers spoil a pitch, try to get the hitter to chase something down. If I see something go down angle in the dirt, I might be able to take off, anticipate.
New left fielder Tommy Farmer replacing Jared Thomas.
Now, I'm not going to probably go 0-2 here because he can go fastball up, fastball away, which would give Schussler an easier opportunity to throw DeBarge out at second. But I'm still looking for something in the dirt as a base runner.
Now, Louisiana fans smelling blood in the water. Starting to get more vocal with this 1-run lead. Understanding what's at stake. A battle with Texas A&M tonight. Pitch in the dirt. And DeBarge races down to second.
Well, it's all anticipation, right? As a base runner, you know that your job is to get in scoring position, especially with the speed that you have. You see something down angle, you see the catcher maybe fumble with it for a second, you're off to the races.
DeBarge takes second on the wild pitch. Well, how big would that additional run be? A little insurance. The 2-seed Cajuns. Sunbelt regular season championship, 23-7 in league play, then 2 quick losses in the tournament. It's kind of a common denominator with all of these teams, with the exception of Grambling that made it here. Aggies went 0-2 in Hoover. Horns did not fare well in their final Big 12 tournament. And now a full count.
As a hitter, as a lefty especially right now, you're trying to look to something on the right side of first base, trying to pull something, move the runner.
And Hurley battles back. Amadei strikes out.
Yeah, and this is a good curveball right here. Good breaker that starts about chest level. It ends pretty low there. Pitcher spot. It's great late break, great vertical and horizontal break.
Ex-UT pitching has been absolutely what it needed to be today, giving this team a chance. Between Charlie Hurley, what we saw from Ace Whitehead.
And that's all you have to ask for going into a game, right? We know Texas offense has been great all season long. You expect them to put up more than one run. But credit Louisiana on their end for getting the job done pitching-wise as well.
It's a team in terms of power that hit more home runs than any other season in school history, with the exception of the team from 2 years ago. Saw flashes of that last night with Schussler and Jared Thomas. Really, since Jalen Flores' grand slam on Friday, offense has been a work in progress. Blistered foul. Regional finals getting set to get underway in the next hour around the country. Ironically, Tennessee gets Southern Miss, the same two teams that met in Hattiesburg a year ago in the Supers. Golden Eagles have to win 2 there in Knoxville. Told you about Southeast Missouri and Fayetteville. They'll get Kansas State. Arkansas eliminated. Florida bouncing back against Nebraska once again. Oklahoma State in prime position in Stillwater. They'll match up with the Clemson Regional, where the Tigers have a pair of one-run victories before getting Coastal Carolina in their regional final this evening. You start to put the pieces together there. What a super regional that could be next weekend in the Palmetto State. Two balls and 2 strikes to Caleb Stelly. Another Sun Belt team and James Madison eliminating South Carolina today. Same conference as Louisiana. Peel down to first, and Stelly did not offer. Second full count for Hurley. Chop to third. Powell has it. He'll look to barge back to second and deliver the second out. Now, don't forget, Squeeze Play, the place to be all weekend long, even tomorrow. ESPN the home for around-the-clock NCAA college baseball regionals. Scan that QR code right now, the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. ESPN Plus subscribers can access expanded Mike Rooney coverage with Squeeze Play. Encourage you to check our good friends out that have been working tirelessly all weekend.
Let's get quadratic.
I saw the quad box up, and at one point there was the 6 spot. 6 screens, and they are plowing through each regional, bringing you all the highlights, all the big hits, and somehow they're able to keep track of all of it simultaneously. 0-2 to John Taylor. So Hurley has done a great job after the leadoff knock and wild pitch. Put the Barge in scoring position. And Texas with 6 outs to work with, trailing by just a run. Coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Horns have Ballou hitting cleanup. 4, 5, and 6. Ballou, Powell, and Borba. Into left field, DeBarge given the green light. Here comes the throw on the way. It is late. And Louisiana extends its lead to 3-1.
You gotta love the 2-strike approach from Taylor right there. Letting this pitch get deep. Just use the hands to stay inside of it. Very nice job of being on time. 2 strikes, you're not letting off speed beat you, and that's a pitch that's running in on him. Goes the other way with it. That's an amazing at-bat there. Doing a great job of cutting down the swing with 2 strikes. Not trying to do a lot. I know it's cliche, but what it means is not trying to go out of my way to pull, not trying to get the barrel so far out in front to drive something. No, let me just put something in play and let it work.
All 3 runs for the Raging Cajuns have been scored with 2 outs. And Pastor drove in the first run of this game in the 2nd inning. Bunted to Powell, tried to barehand it and could not.
I feel like Louisiana's been looking for this all day, right? This bunt towards third, trying to catch Powell off guard with him playing back, and this is just perfectly placed. Just no chance there, even if he feels that cleanly. Pastor is already down the line, and he's going to be safe.
Would have been a close play. Runners at first and second. Torres with a shot deep left field at the wall, and it's gone off the scoreboard.
Roy, Torres knew this right off the bat. He got barreled.
And Torres needs a moment to collect himself after the biggest swing of his career.
I mean, that's the insurance you're looking for, right? I go back to the bunt. Just catching Powell off guard a little bit, just trying to do whatever you can. You think about Taylor going the other way with 2 strikes. It's those little things that add up to those types of big moments right there.
Over to Kennedy into right field. Now the Torres home run, if this score holds, will be talked about in Cajun country forever. They'll give Higgs a single, and it's back to LaFleur at the top of the order. And off the lower part of the leg. Inning continues. The third time today LaFleur has reached.
He's been hit a couple of times. That lower leg stands a little close to the plate, but guys have to challenge him on the inner half so he doesn't get extended.
And David Pierce going to make the call to the bullpen. Hurley was effective initially. And then with 2 outs, Raging Cajuns
back to grab our bats and get us swinging a little bit.
Four runs are in here in the top of the 8th. All 4 scored with 2 outs. Every run for the Raging Cajuns has been scored with 2 outs today. And Loomis's first pitch inside and low. Now you wondered what the response would be like after a late night here against your arch rival. And a Louisiana team that was afforded more rest. Here's another shot left field, and that one's gone. Over the stands. Broussard's second long ball of the season. It's 9-1.
And Broussard with the Michael Jordan shrug. See this fastball just right over the heart of the plate. Barrel down, head down on the baseball, hitting firm against the front side. And maybe not as known for hitting the homers, but you wouldn't know by this swing right here. My boy got extended.
Seven runs are in. Thirteen hits for the Raging Cajuns. Texas A&M awaits the winner of this game. Kennedy, the awkward hop, he handles it to retire the side. Now, what must feel like the longest frame of the year finally comes to an end. 9-1. And a step closer to another national championship, at least potentially for the Sooners. Mike White's Longhorns have something to say about that as the #1 overall national seed. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott, Max Ballou. 4, 5, and 6 will lead things off. One and two. Peel down to third base umpire Nathan Huber.
And that pitch right there is how you can tell that it has that rising effect, is when you commit too early and you see him kind of take that sword swing, half swing. And then he goes 95 down. It's just velocity and spin. It's a great location right there, and you can see him swing right through it.
LP Langevin. He's faced 7 batters so far out of the Louisiana bullpen. 9 whiffs, 4 Ks. And here's Peyton Powell. Louisiana, a team that has been ranked a good portion of this season. Came to College Station as the number 2 seed in this regional. And you read what a lot of the National College Baseball experts were writing about coming in, the teams that had a chance to maybe surprise. Louisiana was a part of that conversation, X. Their experience, led by Matt Deggs in year number 5, a former A&M assistant. Player of the year in the Sun Belt, Kyle DeBarge. Pitcher of the year in the Sun Belt, on the mound currently. And just plenty of experienced talent that was a part of their postseason appearance last year in Coral Gables. Early setback to these Longhorns, but they have fought back and shown you what they are capable of here today. Langevin has lived in the mid-90s. Will he dial it up again? Powell just able to get a piece of that. And the payoff. Settles in low, ball 4.
It's a good take right there. Obviously, if you're Texas right now, just looking for base runners, right? Not guys trying to take big swings. Whatever we can do to put some good at-bats together here. And easier said than done, especially against Langevin, just because of his explosive fastball. But you know it's coming 80% of the time. I'm staying on the heater, looking for a pitch in the middle.
Borba's 2 for 3. Got the start at first base. Elimination game here. And if the score holds, Texas would see its season end at 36-24. Certainly not what Longhorn fans were hoping for after seeing the selection show on Monday, knowing that a chance to take out a national seed in your arch rival in the process. Off the back of Borba. Now the Horns with 2 aboard. It's a team that's had its moments this year. We've talked about the power numbers, all the homers hit. Top of the order featuring 2 first-team All-Big 12 players, Jared Thomas, Jalen Flores. We saw the electric LeBaron Johnson last night. The consistency never really taking hold the way that it probably needed to. Horns not done yet. Here's Rylan Galvan. One and one. Rylan 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Porter Brown has moved into the on-deck circle. Pinch hit for Gasparino. Texas with 8 hits today. Two and two. Served into left field. That's down for a hit. 1 run will score. Coming home is Powell. That'll make it 9-2.
It's a nice adjustment by Galvan right there. The prior strike, he swung at a pitch he felt like was a little bit out of the zone, and that one he got one down. Talked about facing Langevin. You want to get something down in the zone that's easier to get the barrel to. He does a nice job of staying on this one. That's a rope to left for another run for Texas.
Borba at second. Galvan at first. For Porter Brown. And another at-bat for the senior from San Antonio. Last 3 have reached for Texas. Brown would love to pass the baton on to D. Kennedy. And if not him, a potential pinch hitter. Ball 2. And now Louisiana will slow this game down for a minute. Texas not done yet. And next, we certainly have seen crazier comebacks. The NCAA tournament, including this season. Think about some of the games that have gone down out west. And activity brewing in the Raging Cajun bullpen as we speak.
Yeah, you feel like just giving Langevin a chance to breathe here. Get back to that explosive fastball, using it. Might want to start mixing in some other pitches if he can, if guys are being able to stay on that fastball a little bit more. But most of the time when he's throwing strikes, it's tough to get the barrel to it. So he's doing a great job of that. He's just got to get back to it.
Three and 0. Infield a double play depth. And the 3-1 to Brown. Comes up empty. And the payoff swung on and miss. 2 away.
See it. Just uses it middle. Maybe Brown trying to pull off a little bit. But just an explosive fastball that continues to blow by hitters.
Jack O'Dowd will pinch hit for D. Kennedy. With 2 aboard, 2 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 9-2 ball game. The 2-seed Louisiana leading the 3-seed Texas here in the Bryan College Station Regional. O'Dowd, another senior from Nashville. to first. Backhanded by LaFleur, and everybody's safe. Trey was able to knock it down, and that was it. Bases are loaded for the Horns.
Yeah, he gets himself in good position over here at first base as O'Dowd rolls over this, and he's in a good position, but just kind of misjudges the hop there at the last second. Isn't able to field it cleanly, and now you got bases loaded here.
E3 keeps the inning alive. And here's Tommy Farmer, the fourth. First AB of the weekend. And the freshman takes high and tight. Now, one swing of the bat, at least you would feel like Texas has a shot. And can start to apply a little bit more pressure. Easier said than done against the monster on the mound. Two balls and a strike as home plate umpire Tim Rosso informs us of a violation. Three and one. Olajuwon not working quickly enough in that last sequence. Nowhere to put Farmer. Tries to fight it off into foul territory, and it drops harmlessly.
Got to believe Deggs, Coach Deggs over there, wants Langevin to get out of this inning without any more base runners. Thinking about how much further they're trying to get in this regional. They're going to need to use him. You want to save his bullets now at 52 pitches.
All important 3-2 pitch coming, and Farmer strikes out.
Get strike one.
4, 5, and 6 up first for the Ragin' Cajuns. Amadei, Stelly, and Taylor. Jack O'Dowd has taken over for Deke Kennedy at second base after pitch hitting in that number 9 spot. Home half of the 8th. Amadei sends it back right up the middle. Leadoff man aboard. Horns also with a new left fielder as Porter Brown stays in. Caleb Stelly's 1 for 4. Yeah, X, you hit the nail on the head in talking about your approach now. If you're Matt Deggs, pitching at a premium, you start thinking about tonight potentially against the Aggies. It's a game you have to win. Force a winner take all game 7 here in Ryan College Station Regional tomorrow. Two programs quite familiar with each other. They met here in the College Station Regional 2 years ago. Louisiana had a 9-6 lead, or checked out a 6-4 lead in the 7th before losing 9-6. So all these teams quite familiar with what the other teams bring to the table here.
Yeah, that's really why the job of Chase Morgan was so important today, to at least give them some length coming into this one. 5 1/3 inning, able to only give up that 1 run, but you didn't want to have to dig into the bullpen too early in this one because you know you have a long road out ahead of you. Huge starting pitching performance from Morgan.
Well, and for Texas, that game last night, it was there for the taking. The crowd, that environment, and the heat applied by the Aggies ended up being a little bit too much. The Horns and their starting pitching certainly gave you an opportunity. Both of these games, Stelly flies out to right. Just the bats have cooled off. You don't need them to cool off. One away for John Taylor. A 9-2 ball game. Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Flores, Schussler, and Ballou. And tonight it'll be a vastly different scene. With another sellout crowd expected. To second, they'll get the lead runner there. The turn with the toss not in time. 2 away.
Yeah, that was the thing, is you talking about the scene last night, the atmosphere, something that I had never quite experienced as far as the rivalry and how many people were here, packed out the stands, packed out past the walls in center field, left field, right field. Just super loud. You can just tell that that's what college baseball is about, right? Just being able to stay locked in on your team, in the game. Fans enjoying on the edge of your seat, knowing that one play, one swing could change the course of a game, just like it did yesterday.
And the course of a postseason, really, for 2 teams potentially. A very unusual way to produce the game-winning run with the dribbler down the third baseline. And one of several intriguing plays late that went down. Yeah, but you mentioned that's what college baseball is all about. It was funny listening to Jim Schlossnagel after that game, and he was handed the box score and saw the attendance of about 7,500, I think was the final tally. And he said, I'm not sure who counted all those fans that came in here, but that number is a joke. He thought it was much higher than that. And honestly, I would agree. Really not many empty seats to start, and the ones that were there were quickly filled. Pitch in the dirt, no throw made to second. And Amadei in scoring position. And yet all that noise, that vibe, the atmosphere that we just referenced, back in play later tonight again.
And what I think was so cool for me is also just seeing the way the fans consume the game, right? The chants, the loud singing, but also people not really on their phones. They're locked in to every single pitch. That's the way you're supposed to watch a game, and I felt like we were just hanging on every single pitch as far as what could happen, because you have 2 very talented teams in Texas and Texas A&M, but the rivalry, it just means a little bit more.
Teams will be in the same conference where it means more, starting in July. And there's a lot of folks in the Lone Star State talking, and around the nation. Pastor draws the walk, inning continues for the Raging Cajuns. And Jose Torres, the bat flip of the season. After that 3-run jack, digs back in. East Carolina was hanging on by a thread yesterday at home against Wake Forest. They rally in the bottom of the ninth. Chase Burns, Deeks were eliminated, preseason #1. And today the Pirates take care of VCU, eliminating the Rams out of the A-10. I wonder, could this be the year where VCU finds a way to get to Omaha, having been so close so many times? Cliff Godwin. Ball and 2 strikes to Jose Torres.
I think Jose might be looking for another 3-run bomb, the way he's swinging it right now. But what I like, too, about the at-bats as of recent for Louisiana is they're not giving anything away. Really good balanced swings, not chasing.
Protect the outer half there. Still 1-2.
And what that does is it takes that momentum going into the next game, right? You don't want to have a one big inning in the 8th and then start giving some at-bats away, and then you take that into the next game. No, you want to keep the momentum of feeling like you're swinging the bat well. Everybody's participating, passing the baton. We talk about playing your best baseball during a certain part of the year, and that's how you do it.
Torres bloops it into right field. One more run will score. Coming home is Taylor. And it's 10-2.
You see Torres just stay on this off-speed pitch. Gets jammed a little bit, but still gives himself an opportunity by staying behind it. And it seems like everything is falling right now for Louisiana. And expect to see that 2 strikes.
Connor Higgs climbs in. Xavier Scruggs, Roy Philpott. Enjoyable weekend so far in College Station. If you're a Texas fan, you got 3 more outs to work with here. Harrison's got to get you to the bottom of the 9th first. And the season's certainly on the verge of coming to an end. Tough outcome last night. Good showing against this same Louisiana team in the first game on Friday. Were able to put together a run at the end of the regular season, their final year in the Big 12, to finish in 3rd place. Baron Johnson gave you everything he could last night against Texas A&M. 102, 103 pitches. Higgs draws a walk. Louisiana has the bases loaded. Baron Johnson with big league stuff. Preseason pitcher of the year in the Big 12, preseason All-American. Top of the order, Trey LaFleur. Strike two. Women's College World Series coming up in Oklahoma City. Seen outstanding drama as Oklahoma tries to go for 4 in a row, 4 national champions. Jalen Flores, hero on Friday with a grand slam. 0 for 3 today. Now, 2025 will be a new year for Texas baseball in the SEC. Conference that received 11 bids to the NCAA tournament. Highest total in tournament history. Horns and Sooners figured to factor into that conference right away, just as they've been a factor on the national scene the last few years. Top conference in America, the expectations certainly aren't going to go down, but the competition level will go up.
Yeah, the SEC is just different, right? We've both had the opportunities to go to so many of these different university campuses, but something about that SEC play, when you talk about power on power on power, from a pitching standpoint, a hitting standpoint, the crowds are different. There's just a different energy that comes along with it. And obviously such good talent, so many guys being able to go on to the next level, coming out of SEC baseball.
Payoff pitch, and Flores back up the middle into center field. Leadoff man aboard for the Longhorns. For Jalen, that is his 100th career hit.
And his 100th career hit looked just like this. Fastball running in on the hands. He's able to stay inside the baseball, use the middle of the field. It's been a fun player to watch over the course of this regional.
Tuning in, expecting the Women's College World Series matchup between Florida and Alabama. That game has started on ESPN News. We will get you to Oklahoma City as soon as this game concludes in College Station. Oliver Service, the pinch hitter. Well, the ultimate test awaits tonight for the Ragin' Cajuns, in a place in which they were ousted 2 years ago. Different team with better pitching, a different team with more experience for Matt Deggs. And the conversation, the former Aggie assistant coming back once again against his former team. He admitted to us on Thursday, coming back to Aggie land, the Sun Belt Conference Coach of the Year, given how his tenure here ended some 14 years ago. It's meaningful, it's different, and it's motivating. And that ball, tap service. He'll trot down to first. So the first 2 aboard for the Longhorns, trailing 10-2. And here's Jaden Duplantier. Sophomore from Humble. Seen his brother Andre 2 previous games for the Horns here. right off the lower back. And the first 3 reach for Texas.
Really the last thing that you want to see right now if you're Coach Deggs. Want guys coming out of the bullpen throwing strikes. Holzhammer seems like that fastball is running a little too much, going too much arm side. He's got to get back to changing his sights, the release point, and repeating the delivery.
Jack Martinez getting loose. And here's Peyton Powell. Holzhammer fires in a strike, the fastball at 92. Two and two. First baseman Borba would be next. No one out in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded, make it 1 away.
Nice job of Holzhammer making the adjustment, finding the release point, getting back toward the middle of the zone, letting the ball work there. Seeing if he can get some weak contact and gets a good swing and miss right there. 92-mile-an-hour fastball with some cheese.
Casey Borba. Bases remain loaded. The Horns now with 10 hits today. Only 2 runs to show for it. Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City coming up next. Florida and Alabama. And already 1 inning in the books there between the Gators and Crimson Tide. Scoreless. Headed to the top of the second. Two and two. No room for Casey Borba. Bases loaded. 1 away in the bottom of the ninth. On the outside corner and a called strike 3. The punch out for Holzhammer.
Yeah, just tough to pull the trigger right here for Borba. It's a pitch that's down and away. It catches the edge of the strike zone. Just enough there. Holzhammer staying alive on the mound there. Getting some good last offerings, last 2 at-bats.
Raging Cajuns on the verge. Texas down to its final out. Trailing 10-2. Galvan with 1 grand slam this season. Good contact, but foul. Sun Belt Conference certainly has been one of the tougher in major leagues in America this year. Longhorns down to their final strike. Louisiana fans on their feet. Fly ball to left field. Higgs. And that'll do it. Torres needs a moment to collect himself after the biggest swing of his career.
I mean, that's the insurance you're looking for, right? I go back to the bunt, just catching Powell off guard a little bit, just trying to do whatever you can. You think about Taylor going the other way with 2 strikes. It's those little things that add up to those types of big moments right there.
Over to Kennedy, into right field. Now the Torres home run, if this score holds, will be talked about in Cajun country forever. They'll give Higgs a single, and it's back to LaFleur at the top of the order. And off the lower part of the leg. Inning continues. Third time today LaFleur has reached.
He's been hit a couple of times. That lower leg stands a little close to the plate, but guys have to challenge him on the inner half so he doesn't get extended.
And David Pierce going to make the call to the bullpen. Well, Hurley was effective initially. And then with 2 outs, Raging Cajuns